morning, Miss Pryor with Rosie. Today we're going to be using some watercolor techniques. We're going to use oil pastels or crayons, whatever the material that you have. We're going to draw some snowflakes on a white piece of paper, and then we're going to use some watercolor paints to create a really cool, fun background. And if you have table salt at your house, you're going to want to grab that too, because we're going to sprinkle some on our wet paint, and it's going to make some really cool snowflakes. Rosie's excited to get started. For this project, you'll need a thick white sheet of paper, you'll need a pencil, you'll need some crayons or oil pastels if you have them, either will work. You'll need some watercolor paints, and you'll need a paintbrush and some water. You'll need some heart to put in your art. So go ahead and hit the pause button and gather your supplies. Direction is always the same. Pick up your pencil and write your name. I just want to say, if you don't have a lot of these supplies, you can just practice drawing snowflakes this week. Just do something with snowflakes. So the first thing we're going to actually do is, after we flip our paper where we can't see our name, is we're going to use our crayons or our oil pastels to draw some snowflakes. I'm going to choose some cool colors. I'm going to choose white. I'm going to choose blue and purple because these are cool colors. White is a neutral, but I'm going to use it because there's a magic trick I want to show you. And so we're just going to fill up our paper, drawing with our crayon or our oil pastel using heavy application, that means bearing down, and create some snowflakes. And how you create a snowflake is you're going to draw an X and then put a line through it. So you're going to draw an X and then put a line through it. And then you can add little details to the ends to make them look pretty neat. You could do triangles on the ends, you could do circles on the ends, swirls on the ends. However you want to make your snowflake look is up to you. But I want you to fill your paper using your oil pastels or your crayons with your snowflakes. So go ahead and do that part. How I said I was going to be using white to show you a magic trick. I'm using a swirl on my white, but you can't see it right now, but when we paint, it's going to magically show up because we're using a crayon resist method when we paint. Alright, now for the fun part, you're going to need your watercolors and your water bowl, and you're going to need to choose some cool colors to paint in your background. So those are purples, greens, blues, magentas, any of those to add to your background. We're going to fill up our paper and we're going to paint over our snowflakes. So you're going to dip, touch the lip, and get your paint. And then you're just going to kind of quickly brush over top of your snowflakes. Watercolors and oil pastels or crayons resist the paint, and so they're going to show through. So I'm just going to add a little color here and there, and I'm going to put some of my colors on top of my colors so they mix and make new colors. And so you're just going to paint over, making sure that you give your paintbrush drinks of water so that your paint is nice and wet. So I'm going to show you a trick using a household item that you can create even more snowflakes on your paper. So go ahead and use your cool colors and watercolor and add those to your background. Remember to dip, touch the lip, and get a drink of water, and to fill up your space. Can you see my white snowflakes now? I think you could do is, while you're painting, you could clean out your brush and you could add little dots of a different color inside of your wet paint on your paper. This is called the wet on wet technique. See how my purple is on top of my blue over there? I could do the same just by adding little dots. They kind of expand as they hit the wet paint. Now, if you want to be really cool, you could get some table salt or kosher salt and you could sprinkle them into the wet parts of your paper. What's going to happen is the salt is going to cling to that moisture and it's going to dry, and when it dries you can scrape it off and it leaves a little snowflake on your paper. So if you have salt at home, you can add some to the wet parts of your paper, creating little snowflakes. If you had fun creating and using these different watercolor techniques to create snowflakes, I want to see what you created, so upload a picture or a video onto Canvas so that we can stay connected. Hope that you had fun.